Hello everyone, Phoenix Knight here. Welcome to the channel, and welcome back to the 2009-10 hockey season replay on the channel. Block 34 takes us to the Civic Arena in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania for an interconference matchup between the Nashville Predators and the Pittsburgh Penguins. Looking at the standings in the replay at this point, the Predators are having a very forgettable replay. 23 wins, 29 losses, 8 overtime losses, 54 points, second from last in both the Central Division and the Western Conference. As for Pittsburgh, 36 wins, 17 losses, 8 overtime losses, good for 80 points, and the current 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. We'll see what happens with that tonight. And you're probably starting to hear rumbles of thunder. We're expecting to have a little bit of rough stuff tonight, apparently. Let me just mark off my current board game. That way my standings formulas will work properly. So we are all set at this point. I'll bring the play chart and shot, and we will jump in, get the opening face-off. Face-offs to start with are +2 to Pittsburgh. 5 will be a superior win all day long. That'll go over to Orpik, and we're off and running to start this game. Looking at opponent defense 11, and Weber is already going to have a penalty. He'll go off for tripping. 1, 2, 3. That didn't take long for a penalty. And an 8, if the left wing is a 3 or more, Sullivan is a 3 on defense. That'll be an outside shot for Crosby. He will let that go from the point. That's a 9. That'll be a save. Then an inside shot for anybody, and they're going to have Guerin take that inside shot. That's a 7. That's a goalie rating on Rinne. 7 and 8 are bad numbers. That's a 3. Save made by Rinne. And that face-off will come out of the Nashville end. Arena groans. Ugh. Face-offs +2 to Pittsburgh. 8 will be a superior win. That'll go over to Guerin, and we're off once again. Opponent defense 7. Sullivan will take the puck away for an outside shot only. He'll let that go from the point. That's a 7. Save made, and right back over to Guerin. Guerin for Pittsburgh once again. Opponent defense 9. Sullivan taking it away again for an outside shot. Lets that go. He'll lose that over to Crosby. Crosby with it for Pittsburgh. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot for Erat this time. He'll let that go. That's a 7. Save made, and right back over to Crosby. Crosby for Pittsburgh. We'll lose that over to Arnott. Arnott for Nashville. Possible breakaway. Uh-oh. Left defenseman, if breakaway penetration rating 2 or more. Suter is a 2. He's in on Johnson alone. 5. That would be a goalie rating if there is a power play, but Johnson will get a piece of that one. He'll smother it, and we'll get a face-off. That face-off will come to the right of Johnson. Face-offs remain +2 to Pittsburgh. 17 will be an inferior win. That'll go over to Suter for Nashville, and we're off once again. Opponent defense 10. Gonchar, ooh, that's a penalty. We'll flip over cards, get a forwards line change out of it, and then we'll see what kind of power play Nashville is going to have. As we have a little bit of Saturday night hockey here on the channel. So we flipped over cards into the forwards line change. A 6. If the right defenseman is a 4, he is a 5. Actually, wrong right defenseman. He is not. All right, that's a 6. So that'll be an inside shot for the left wing. That'll be an inside shot for Dumont. He's going to let that go from the slot. That's a 7. He'll lose that to the defensive left defenseman. Orpik will get a piece of that one. Then that'll be a rebound shot for Goke. Goke will get a rebound on that one as Johnson is stumbling around. 10 is a goalie rating on Johnson. 7, 9, and 11 are bad numbers. That's a 5. Save made by Johnson as the power play goes by the wayside. Arena cheers. Yay! We'll take that face-off just outside the Pittsburgh zone. Face-offs are +1 to Nashville. A 9 will be a superior win for the left wing. That'll go up to Dumont, and we're off once again. Lose the puck, outside shot only for the left defenseman. That will be over to Orpik for an outside shot, this one from the point. That's a 3, save made, and that'll go over to Goke. Goke for Nashville. Passing D. He'll lose the puck, outside shot for Fedotenko. Fedotenko will make a pass. Passing L. He'll lose the puck over to Hornquist, just in time for a defenseman line change. Hornquist with it for Nashville. Opponent defense 1. Ponikarovsky will take the puck away with an outside shot. Ponikarovsky will try to make a pass. That'll be an inside shot for Fedotenko. He's going to let that go from the slot. That's a 10. He'll lose that over to Hornquist. Hornquist for Nashville. Passing F. That'll be an outside shot for Dumont. Dumont's going to try to make a pass. Passing K. That'll be an inside shot right back to Hornquist. He will let that go from the slot. That's a 10. Save made, and that'll go over to Eaton. Eaton for Pittsburgh. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot only for Dumont. Dumont lets that one go on the outside. 10 is a goalie rating on Johnson. 11, goal on a 1-18, and score! J.P. Dumont gives the Predators a 1-0 lead here in the first. Arena groans. Ugh. That'll be Dumont from Hornquist. And we'll flip over a card to get another assist. Any player 7, no. 3, that'll be Goke. So that'll be Dumont from Hornquist and Goke, as the Predators now jump out to a 1-0 lead. Faceoffs remain +1 to Nashville. A 10 will be a superior right wing win. That'll go over to Hornquist, and we're off once again. He'll lose that over to Ponikarovsky. Ponikarovsky for Pittsburgh. Opponent defense 5. That'll be an outside shot for Fedotenko. Fedotenko will try to make a pass. That'll be an inside shot for Malkin. Malkin's going to let that go from the slot. 6 is a goalie rating on Rinne. That's an 8. Score! Evgeny Malkin will tie this game at 1 for the Penguins. Arena cheers. Yay! That'll be from Ponikarovsky. And we'll flip over a card in just a second to see if we get an assist. Ponikarovsky got an assist. No. Right defenseman Letang. And just before we get to that, just before we get to the next face-off, as the teams come back to center ice, we will have a forwards line change. Okay. Teams are back to center ice. Face-offs are even. A 1 will be a home win all day long. That'll go over to Eaton, and we're off once again. Passing E. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot for Smithson. Smithson will try to make a pass. That'll be an inside shot for Ward. Ward's going to let that go from the slot. That's a 3. That's a goal on a 1-11. And score! Joel Ward gets the Predators a 2-1 lead here in an eventful first period. Arena groans. Ugh. Let's see. Inside shot for... Who was that from? I think that was from... Who was making... Oh, Smithson was the one making up the pass. That was Smithson. That was Ward from Smithson, and... just checking to see if I can get another assist out of this card. Yep, that'll be Hamhuis. As the Predators now have a 2-1 lead in what's been an eventful first period so far. Face-offs are even. 9 will be a home win. That'll go over to Cook, and we're off once again. Opponent defense 6. That'll be an outside shot for Stahl. Stahl will try to make a pass. That'll be, he'll lose the puck. Defensive right D, Kevin Klein will have control of that for Nashville. Opponent defense 5. Eaton will, that'll be an outside shot for Legwand. Legwand will try to make a pass. Passing L, he'll lose the puck over to Cook. Cook for Pittsburgh. Passing D, that'll be an outside shot for Kennedy. Kennedy will try to make a pass. He'll lose the puck over to Smithson. Smithson for Nashville. Outside shot only for anybody. He will give that to Legwand to take an outside shot. That's a 5. Save made and over to Kennedy. Kennedy with it for Pittsburgh. Passing F. Lose the puck. Outside shot for Ward. Ward's going to throw that at the net. That's a 9. That's a goalie rating on Johnson. That's a 5. Save made, and that'll go over to Cook. Cook for Pittsburgh. Inside shot for anybody. Opponent can try to intimidate. They'll give that to Stahl. Legwand will try to intimidate. He will intimidate, take the puck away. Legwand with it for Nashville. Lose the puck. Outside shot only for Stahl. Stahl will put that at the net. From the point, an 11. Save made and up to Smithson. Smithson for Nashville. Passing E. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot for Cook. Cook will take a shot. Take that from the point. An 11. Save made by Rinne and over to Hamhuis. Last play of the period. Lose puck and a possible breakaway. Uh-oh. Right D, if the breakaway penetration rating is 4, it is not. Hamhuis will have that. And there's the horn to end the first period. And a pretty exciting first period at that. Nashville has jumped out to a quick 2-1 lead here after 1. We will get set for the second period of this game. Just going through my line changes here. We are definitely moving through the regular season in this replay. And in fact, we are going to have the Olympic break here coming up. But I was debating if I wanted to stop and play the Olympics. But I'd have been doing that in Final Score Hockey, and I couldn't find the schedule to make that work out. So we're not going to stop and play the Olympics. If I could find that in... If I could have found that in a system and been able to get the schedule together, I might have thought about it, but since I couldn't, we're not going to stop and play the Olympics. Plus, we're going to start turning up the Jets here as we move toward the playoffs soon anyway. I also believe that yep, this is the last time we are going to... So this next block coming up, after this next block, we're going to start picking our board games on the fly. Because now we're getting to a point where I want to start spotlighting the playoff races a little bit more, now that we're starting to get into the tail end of the regular season. And actually, we're going to be picking up an extra block on Sunday, because my normal game group that's gotten together... We're not going to be playing this week as schedules have changed and things aren't going to work out. So we will have an extra block. We'll have an extra block tomorrow afternoon before for our regular block tomorrow night. Well, tomorrow evening, I should say. Also, don't forget that there is a poll live on the community tab on my channel to determine how the systems are going to work for my inside the crease replay for the playoffs when we get there. So what you're voting for is what system each conference is going to be run in. and also the home games for that conference during the Stanley Cup Finals. The two options, so we've got Strat and Inside the Crease as our systems. If you vote for East Strat-O-Matic and West Inside the Crease, that means the Eastern Conference will be run in Strat-O-Matic, and the West will be run in Inside the Crease. And then when the Eastern Conference champion is at home, those games will be in Strat, the West will be in Inside the Crease. And the reverse will be true for the other option. So hopefully that makes sense. While I'm getting everything ready for the second period. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Defensemen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Zamboni is finished up. We are all set for the second period of this game, so let's drop the face-off as Pittsburgh is looking for the equalizer here in the second period, and they've got the +2 face-off advantage to start the period. Let's go from the right deck as well. An 8 will be a superior win all day long, as that will go to Guerin, and we're off. Possible breakaway. Uh-oh, this isn't going to take long, probably. Right D if the breakaway penetration rating 2 or more. Gonchar's a 3. He's in on Rinne alone. What can Gonchar do with this puck? That's a 7, and that would be a goalie rating if the Penguins were on the power play, but instead Rinne is going to make a great save. He'll hold on, get the face-off. Arena groans. Ugh. We'll take that face-off to the left of Rinne. Face-offs are +2 to Pittsburgh still. 20 will be an inferior win. That'll be a big win for Erat, and we're off and running. Passing D. That'll be an inside shot for Sullivan. Opponent can try to intimidate. Guerin will not try to intimidate. Sullivan with an inside shot. That's a 9. That'll be a save made and over to Crosby. Crosby for Pittsburgh. Passing D. Inside shot for Guerin. Sullivan, however, will try to intimidate. He'll take the puck away, but a possible penalty on Sullivan. 1 to 15, no penalty. That's a 13. Sullivan maybe getting a little close to the line, but the referees are going to let it go and we'll play on. Passing F for Sullivan. That'll be an outside shot for Arnott. Hold on. Is Arnott line 1? Oh, yeah, he is actually. Okay. So that'll be an outside shot for Arnott. He is going to try to make a pass. Passing L will be an inside shot for anybody. He will give that to Erat. He will take the inside shot. That's a 5. That's a goalie rating on Johnson. That's a 5. Save made, and that'll go over to Crosby. Crosby for the Penguins. Passing D will be an inside shot for Guerin. Sullivan will try to intimidate. Sullivan will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. Sullivan's got it for Nashville. Opponent defense 9. Ooh, that's a penalty on Guerin. 1, 2, 3. We'll see what kind of power play Nashville's going to have. 18, checking for 2 or more 4-rated defensive players. We do have 2 or more 4-rated defensive players. So that'll be an outside shot for the center. That'll be an outside shot for Arnott. That's a 3. That's a goal on a 1 to 3. And score! Jason Arnott with a power play goal gives the Predators a 3-1 lead. Arena barfs. Bleh. As the Predators now open up a 2-goal lead on the power play. What a shot by Arnott, though. We'll get some assists. That will be Arnott from Erat. And that wasn't a 1 assist only, right? Yes, okay. And Suter. As the teams drift back to center ice, I will take a quick hydrate. I'll take a quick announcer hydrate break. As the Predators now find themselves with a 3-1 lead here in Pittsburgh. And the hometown crowd not happy in the slightest with what they see here. Faceoffs right now are +2 to Pittsburgh, and the Penguins need to get something going here. One will be a superior win all day long. That'll go to Orpik, and we're off once again. That'll be opponent defense 6. Weber will take the puck away with an outside shot. He's going to throw that at the net. That's a 9. Save made over to Dupuis, just in time for a forwards line change. That will be Ponikarovsky in control of the puck for Pittsburgh. Lose the puck, outside shot only for Suter. Suter will let that go from the point. That's a 6, save made, and right back to Ponikarovsky. Ponikarovsky for Pittsburgh, opponent defense 5. That'll be an outside shot for Fedotenko. He's going to throw that one at the net. That's a 2. That's a goal on a 1-3, and save made by Rinne. He will hold on, get the face-off. Arena groans. Ugh. We'll take that face-off to the right of Rinne. Face-offs are +1 to Nashville. 14 will be an inferior win. That'll go over to Gonchar for Pittsburgh, and we're off with it once again. Gonchar will lose the puck. Outside shot only for Dumont. He's going to let that go. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Uh-oh. Defense, any player. Fedotenko will take that for Pittsburgh. Lose the puck. Outside shot for anybody. They will give that to... They'll give that to Weber. Orpik will try to intimidate on a 1-12. He will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. Orpik with it for Pittsburgh. He'll lose it right back to Weber, just in time for a defenseman line change. Klein with it now for Nashville. Lose the puck. Outside shot only for Malkin. Malkin needs to get something going here for Pittsburgh. That's a 6. Save made, and that'll go back to Klein. Klein with looking at passing D. He'll lose the puck. Inside shot for anybody. Opponent can try to intimidate. They will give that to Ponikarovsky. Hornquist will try to intimidate. He will intimidate, take the puck away, but a possible penalty. 1-12, there is no penalty. That's a 19, so there will be a penalty. 1, 2, 3. Unfortunately for Pittsburgh, Power Play 16 is checking for all 4-rated defensive players, which they don't have. No shots on the power play. And a forwards line change. As that face-off will come back out of the Nashville end. Hometown Penguin fans are not happy with what they see in this one. Face-offs are even. 2 will be a home win all day long. That'll be over to the right defenseman, Letang, and we're off once again. Passing E for Letang. That'll be an outside shot for Stahl. Stahl will try to... Stahl will try... I'm deciding what I want to have him do here. Stahl will try to penetrate. He will penetrate. He'll get an inside shot out of that. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Defensive left D if defense rating 2 or more. Hamhuis is a 4. He'll have that on the rebound. Passing E for Hamhuis. Outside shot for Ward. Ward will try to make a pass. Inside shot for anybody. They'll give that to Legwand, who will take an inside shot. That's a 7. Save made, and that'll go over to Letang. Letang for Pittsburgh. Lose the puck, possible breakaway. Center, if the breakaway penetration rating is 3 or more. Legwand is a 3. He's in on Johnson alone. What can Legwand do with this puck on a breakaway? That's a 5. That's a goalie rating on Johnson. And that's a 6. A rebound chance. Offensive left wing. Smithson with a rebound. 6. That's a goalie rating on Johnson. 5. Save made. And over to Kennedy. Johnson making 2 huge saves. trying to keep Pittsburgh in this one. Opponent defense 10. That will be a penalty on Smithson. He'll go off for elbowing. 2, 3. And a 6 is our power play. If the right defenseman is a 4, he is not. That'll be an inside shot for Cook first. He will let that go from the slot. That's a 9. That's a goalie rating on Rinne. That's a 5. Save made by Rinne. And a rebound shot for Stahl. Stahl will let that go as he's got Rinne floundering around. That's a 10. That's a save made by Rinne. Arena groans. Ugh. Nashville holding steady with a 3-1 lead here late in the second period. Faceoffs remain even. A 19 will be a visitor win. That'll be a visitor left wing over to Smithson, and we're off once again. Lose the puck, outside shot only for Stahl. Stahl will throw that at the net. That's a 7. That's a save made and over to Klein. Klein for Nashville. Inside shot for anybody. Opponent can try to intimidate. They will give that to Ward, and Cook has to try to intimidate on a 1. Where is it here? He's a B, so on a 1 to 9, he will intimidate. That is a 9. Cook will take that away. Cook looking at opponent defense 4. That's an inside shot for Stahl. Klein will try to intimidate. Klein will intimidate, take the puck away, and there's the horn to end the second period. And after 2, Nashville adding another one, going out to a 3-1 lead here after 2. Block 34, early tomorrow afternoon, will bring us back into Inside the Crease hockey and the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. It will be March 4th, 2010, and the St. Louis Blues will be in town to play the Dallas Stars. The Blues, we'll look at the standings real quick before I continue line changes. The Blues right now are fighting for their playoff lives. They are just 2 points. They're 2 points behind Detroit in the Central Division as of right now and out of a playoff spot currently. So that'll be an important game for St. Louis. As after tomorrow, exposure for teams that are not on the board might start becoming very limited. Just getting everything ready here for the third period of this game. Nashville at this point playing for pride, but they have definitely teed off on the Penguins, who've kind of let their guards down a little bit. The Penguins are the current 2 seed, as I mentioned, in the Eastern Conference playoffs. They might be taking Nashville just a little bit lightly. In fact, I think Pittsburgh's going to open up their offense a little bit to try to get this going here. To try to get some scoring going, because they need 2 here late. They need 2 here going into the third period. I'm just doing my shuffling off camera as usual. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Forwards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Defensemen, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Forwards, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. We are all set, so let's jump into this third period. Face-offs, once again, are +2 to Pittsburgh. 4 will be a superior win. That'll go over to Guerin, and we're off and running to start the third period. That'll be opponent defense 1. Sullivan will take the puck away with an inside shot. Crosby will not try to intimidate. Sullivan will let the inside shot go. That's a 6. He'll lose that right back to Guerin. Guerin for Pittsburgh. Looking at passing B. That'll be an inside shot for Crosby. Suter will try to intimidate. Suter will intimidate, take the puck away. Suter's got it for Nashville. Looking at passing D. Passing D will be an inside shot for Arnott. Crosby will not try to intimidate. Arnott will let that go. Actually, can Crosby afford not to try to intimidate? He's got to try to intimidate on this one. That's a 13. Crosby will not intimidate Arnott. Here's the inside shot from Arnott. 7. That's a goalie rating on Johnson. That's an 8. Save made, and that'll go over to Orpik. Orpik with it now for Pittsburgh. He'll lose the puck. Possible breakaway. Right D if the breakaway penetration rating is 4. Weber is a 4. He's in on Johnson alone. That's a 2. Save made by Johnson and over to Guerin. Guerin with it for Pittsburgh. Possible breakaway. Center if the breakaway penetration rating is 4. Crosby is a 4. He's in on Rinne alone. Crosby needs to get something here. That's a 4. That's a goalie rating on Rinne. That's a 5. Save made by Rinne, who makes a huge stop, and over to Suter. Suter, he'll lose the puck, possible breakaway. And Crosby's back off to the races once again. Crosby, 7. That's a goalie rating on Rinne. And a 5. Save made by Rinne over to Weber. Rinne standing on his head for Nashville here. Passing E. That'll be an outside shot for Arnott. Arnott will let it go. That's a 12. That would be a goalie rating, but Johnson's going to make a save. He'll freeze that one. We'll get a face-off. That'll come to the left of Johnson. Face-offs remain +2 to Pittsburgh. 18 will be an inferior right defenseman win. That'll be over to Weber, and we're off once again with the action here. That'll be opponent defense 6. Orpik will take the puck away with an outside shot. Orpik will try to make a pass. That'll be an inside shot for Crosby. Crosby will let that go from the slot. That's a 5. Save made by Rinne over to Erat. Erat with it. Opponent defense 7. Dupuis will take the puck away with an outside shot only. He'll let that go. That's an 8. That's a rebound chance. Rebound defensive right D if defense rating 2 or more. Weber's a 5. He'll have that for Nashville. Opponent defense 4. Orpik will take away the puck with an inside shot. Suter will try to intimidate. Suter will intimidate, take the puck away, just in time for a forwards line change. That is Suter with it for Nashville. Opponent defense 1. Gonchar, that'll be an inside shot for Dumont. Fedotenko will try to intimidate. He will take the puck away, but a possible penalty. 1 to 12, no penalty. That's a 14, so we will have a penalty. Fortunately for Pittsburgh, that will be a no shots power play. 1, 2, 3. But that still takes away time that the Penguins need to try to get this game under something resembling control. That faceoff will come just out of the Pittsburgh end. Faceoffs are +1 to Nashville. That's a 9. That'll be a superior win. That'll go over to Dumont, and we're off once again. That'll be lose the puck, outside shot only for Orpik. Orpik will let that go from the point. That's a 7. He'll lose that over to Dumont, and we'll have a defenseman line change. Dumont with it now for Nashville. Passing F. That'll be an outside shot for Goke. Goke will try to make a pass. He'll lose the puck over to Malkin. Malkin with it for Pittsburgh. He'll lose the puck. Outside shot only for anybody. They will give that to... they're going to give that to Hornquist. Hornquist will let that go from the point. That's a 4. Save made and over to Letang. Letang for Pittsburgh. Passing C. He'll lose the puck. Inside shot for the right wing. Ponikarovsky has to try to intimidate. He will intimidate. He'll take the puck away. Ponikarovsky, looking at opponent defense 1. He'll take the puck. Hornquist will take the puck away with an inside shot. Ponikarovsky has to try to intimidate. He will intimidate, but the possible penalty on Ponikarovsky, 1-12, no penalty. That's a 17, which will take much-needed time off the clock for Pittsburgh once again. 2, 3, but we also have a forwards line change. Penguins are picking a very bad time to take a lot of dumb penalties in this one. We'll bring that face-off just out of the Pittsburgh zone. Face-offs are even. 5 will be a home win. That'll be a left defenseman win. That'll be over to Cook, and we're off once again. That'll be opponent defense 7. Looking over at Klein. He'll take the puck away for an outside shot only. Klein will let that go. That's a 7. Save made by Johnson and over to Kennedy. Kennedy for Pittsburgh. Opponent defense 8. Smithson will take the puck away for an outside shot only. Smithson will let that go. That's a 7. He'll lose that over to Letang. Letang for Pittsburgh as the clock's ticking down. Opponent defense 2. He'll take the puck away with an inside shot. Eaton will try to intimidate. Eaton will take the puck away, but a possible penalty. 1-15, no penalty. That's a 10. Eaton getting a little questionable, but the refs let him get away with it. Lose the puck, possible breakaway. And the right wing, that is Ward. He's in alone on Johnson. Here comes the shot. 4 is a goalie rating on Johnson. That's a 7. Score! Joel Ward giving the Predators a 4-1 lead here in the third. Arena, barfs, double barfs. Blah, blah. Frog in my throat. We'll get a couple of assists. Any player 8? No. Left wing, no. Left D, no. Right D, no. Center, no. And right wing is who scored. So that goal will actually be unassisted. Fitting on a breakaway goal. As the fans here in Pittsburgh do not like what they see in the slightest. Face-offs, we'll bring the teams back to center ice. Face-offs are even actually. An 11 on an even face-off. That'll be a home win. That'll go over to Cook, and we're off once again. Inside shot for anybody. Opponent can try to intimidate. That will go over to Kennedy. Smithson will try to intimidate. That's a 14. He will not intimidate. Kennedy will have an inside shot. 9 is a save, and that'll go over to Smithson. Smithson for Nashville. Looking at opponent defense 2. Kennedy will take the puck away with an inside shot. Legwand will try to intimidate. He'll take the puck away, but a possible penalty. 1-15, no penalty. That's a 13, we'll play on. Looking at losing the puck, outside shot only for Stahl. Stahl will let that go on an outside shot. 10 is a goalie rating on Rene. And an 8, score! Jordan Stahl gets the Penguins basically a goal in garbage time, if I'm being honest. Arena is mostly empty. People looking to beat traffic at this point. We'll get a couple assists. That will be from Letang. And Kennedy. As the Pittsburgh faithful have mostly decided that they're going to try to beat traffic tonight. Face-offs are still even. An 18 will be a visitor win for Klein, and we're off once again. Opponent defense 10. That'll be a penalty on Cook, but brrr, there's the final horn to end the game, and mercifully, Nashville will finish off the Penguins with a mercy killing by a final score of 4-2. Arena, once again, is mostly empty as people were looking to beat traffic in this one. But we are not done yet because we have to ask our friends at Downey Games via Final Score Hockey how the rest of the NHL fared in this block. And admittedly, this is going to be a little bit of a weird block because we have the Olympic break built in. So we're technically getting another standings update later tonight, along with if the playoffs started today. Now, of course, the playoffs do not start today because we still have a fair bit of hockey to go yet. But the playoff picture is definitely starting to come into focus. As I mentioned earlier, starting after tomorrow afternoon's first block, we will be picking the feature game. We will be picking the board games on the fly. I'm just doing my cleanup as usual before we get into tonight's Final Score Hockey. I was going to think of it eventually. Oop. I just about knocked my... Well, I didn't just about knock my water bottle over that. This new metal bottle I'm using instead of my previous one is actually sturdy as all hell. It's not going anywhere on me. Okay. Just making sure everything gets put away here properly. Just checking up on something here. Okay. All right. Just getting my charts ready now. Okay. All right. So, let's get my ticker ready to go. So we are all set to ask our friends at Downey Games via Final Score Hockey how the rest of the NHL fared in this block. The Predators get a 4-2 win over the Penguins, who might have been taking them a little bit lightly. But let's see how the rest of the NHL fared here, starting on Singles Awareness Day 2010, which ironically was the last Singles Awareness Day I was actually dating somebody. Let's start off with the Blackhawks at the Blue Jackets. Chicago wanted that one badly. N66 is 9. Columbus, I-31 won't come remotely close. That is 2. And the Blackhawks will blow the Blue Jackets out of the water, 9-2. Ducks and the Oilers. Anaheim, I-64, that is 5. Edmonton, F62, that is 4. Pressure situation for Edmonton. The Oilers are an E under pressure. But a 26 won't help Edmonton. Anaheim will get a 5-4 victory. Vancouver at Minnesota. Canucks, L43, that is 3. Minnesota, J25, that is 2. And that is a pressure situation for Minnesota. The Wild are an E under pressure. But a 36 won't help Minnesota. Vancouver will take that one 3-2. Senators and the Islanders. Ottawa looks to have wanted that game pretty badly. G64 is 4. New York, H25, that is 2. Ottawa will double up the Islanders 4-2. Lightning and the Rangers are both Gs. Tampa Bay rolls a 33, that is 2. New York rolls a 62, that is 4. Rangers will double up the Lightning. On to March 1st and only one game. Red Wings at the Avalanche. Detroit, G34, that is 2. Colorado, L25, that is 3. And that's a pressure situation for Detroit. The Red Wings are a C under pressure. A C26 won't help Detroit. Colorado will get a 3-2 victory. On to March 2nd. Florida at Atlanta. Panthers, G42, that is 3. Atlanta, I12, that is 1. Florida will take a 3-1 victory. Canadiens and the Bruins. Montreal, G24, that is 2. Boston, J13, that is 1. And that's a pressure situation for Boston. The Bruins are an E under pressure with the net empty. And E13 won't do anything for Boston. Montreal will get a 2-1 victory. Vancouver at Columbus. Canucks, N21 is 2. Columbus, I31, that is also 2. Pressure situations all around. Vancouver's a B. Columbus is an E. B54 might let Vancouver score. And E55 for Columbus. They can't stop the Canucks. The Canucks will score late in the third. Now Columbus needs to get the goal with the net empty. But an E14 won't do it for Columbus. Vancouver will take that one 3-2. Los Angeles at Dallas. Kings, I52, that is 4. Dallas, L22, that is 2. Los Angeles will double up Dallas 4-2. Oilers and the Predators. Edmonton, E32, that is 2. Nashville, F12, that is 0. Edmonton will blank Nashville 2-0. Blackhawks at the Islanders. Chicago doesn't look like they wanted this game. L12 is 1. New York, J56, that is 4. The Islanders will take that one 4-1. Rangers at the Senators. New York, F64, that is 4. Ottawa, J21, that is 2. The Rangers will double up the Senators 4-2. Blues and the Coyotes. St. Louis, E51, that is 3. Phoenix, J45, that is also 3. Pressure situations all around. St. Louis is a D. Phoenix is a B. D41 won't help St. Louis. Neither will a B42 help Phoenix. That game is going to overtime. Once I get my ticker update done, the Coyotes will have a chance to win first. A J51 for Phoenix will get it done. The Coyotes will take that one 4-3 in overtime. Sabres and the Penguins. Buffalo, G52, that is 3. Pittsburgh, N65 is 8. Pittsburgh will take that one 8-3. New Jersey at San Jose. Devils, E32, that is 2. Sharks, O13, that is also 2. Pressure situations all around. New Jersey is a C, San Jose is a B. C65 might help New Jersey. A B22 for San Jose won't do anything. The Devils will score late in the third, which means now San Jose needs to get the equalizer with their net empty. But a C22 won't help San Jose out. New Jersey will take that one 3-2. Philadelphia at Tampa Bay. Flyers, I-32, that is 3. Tampa Bay, J-33, that is also 3. Pressure situations all around. Philadelphia is a D, Tampa Bay is an E. D-21 won't help Philadelphia, neither will an E-34 help Tampa Bay. That game is going to overtime. Tampa Bay with a chance to win first. But a J-14 won't help them. An I-44 won't help Philadelphia, which means we've got a shootout in this block. Both teams are Bs in the shootout. Oops. I want the shootout chart. Both teams are Bs, round 1. Neither team will score, round 2. Both teams will score, round 3. We're probably looking for an unanswered goal at this point, which we will get. Philadelphia will score, Tampa Bay will not. The Flyers will take that one 4-3 in a shootout. Carolina at Toronto. Hurricanes, I-24, that is 2. Toronto, F-15, that is 1. That is a pressure situation for Toronto. The Maple Leafs are an E under pressure. An E-24 won't help them, though. Carolina will get that win 2-1. On to March 3rd. Colorado at Anaheim. Avalanche, I-61 is 4. Anaheim, K-54, that is also 4. Pressure situations all around. Colorado is a C, Anaheim is an E. C-23 won't help Colorado, neither will an E-44 do anything for Anaheim. That game is going to overtime. Ducks with a chance to win first. K-51 will get it done for Anaheim. They will take that one 5-4 in overtime. Capitals and the Sabres. Washington, whoa. M11, that is 0. I think that's the first time they haven't scored anything on the board here in this replay. Sabres, K46, that is 3. Buffalo will blank Washington 3-0. Minnesota at Calgary. Wild, G21, that is 1. Calgary is also a G. They roll a 32. That is 2. And that is a pressure situation for the Wild. Minnesota is an E under pressure. But an E42 won't do anything for Minnesota. Calgary will take that one 2-1. Oilers are in Chicago to play the Blackhawks. Edmonton, E24 is 1. Chicago, J11 is 0. Pressure situation for Chicago. The Blackhawks are a B under pressure. But a 14 won't do anything for Chicago. Edmonton will take that win 1-0. Canucks and the Red Wings are both Ks. Vancouver rolls a 22. That is 2. Detroit rolls a 35. That is 3. And that's a pressure situation for Vancouver. The Canucks are a B under pressure. A B55 might let Vancouver score. A C45 won't stop Vancouver. The Canucks will score 3-2. That game is going to overtime. Detroit, though, with the first chance to win. And a K66 for Detroit will get it done all day long. Red Wings will win 4-3 in overtime. Flyers and the Panthers. Philadelphia, K64. Let's get to the right chart. K64 is 6. We won't need the overtime chart for this one. Florida, I-12 is 1. The Flyers will take a 6-1 win over the Panthers. That is your final score hockey from Downey Games. If your team won tonight, congratulations. If they didn't, there's always tomorrow. Tomorrow afternoon, we will be at the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas, as the St. Louis Blues will be fighting for their playoff lives against the Dallas Stars. Before that, though, tomorrow morning, the 2025 Summer of Lovecraft will continue as we play the second leg in Arkham Horror 2nd Edition, where we are currently up 1-0 on Yog-Sothoth. Wednesday, in honor of H.P. Lovecraft's birthday, we will be playing Call of Cthulhu by Chaosium. And Saturday next week, Mystical Munchies will continue out of the recipes from the recipes from the World of H.P. Lovecraft cookbook as we make the dessert Meteor Cakes. Thank you for watching the video. Please give the video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Be sure to turn on notifications so you get my content. Be well, stay safe, take care of yourselves and your loved ones, and I'll be back with more videos in the future. Until then, take care everyone. The Nashville Predators storm into Civic Arena in Pittsburgh and take it to the Penguins, getting away with the 4-2 victory. Once again, take care, and I will see you guys tomorrow.